This is Saturday Morning Mysteries.
And we're your hosts, Alexis and Grace. Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday, or whatever day or time of the day you're listening to this. Mm-hmm. This is Saturday Morning Mysteries, and we are your hosts. I'm Alexis.
I'm Grace.
And we're starting something new today.
We are.
If you're new to this podcast, then what we do typically is we cover episode arcs of classic animated shows that have to do with mystery and adventure and action, and we retell the stories from those episodes as if they were true crime tales. And a lot of laughs, a lot of comedy thrown in there, a lot of classic cartoon talk, classic animation talk. And our last show, if you are familiar with our podcast, you joined it with us. It was Jabberjaw. Mm-hmm. It was a mindfuck, to say the least. Jabberjaw is probably one of the craziest shows we've ever watched and ever covered on this podcast. Correct. And Grace, you said that you wanted to take a little break from all of the chaos that was Jabberjaw before we geared up to ever do another Jabberjaw arc in the future. Yep. And so, in my opinion, I've not watched the new show we're doing yet, but I've read about it. And I don't think that this is going to give us that break we need, because it sounds like it's almost as much of a mindfuck as Jabberjaw is. So, what is the new show? What is the new show we're doing? It may be a show that no one watching or listening to this podcast has ever heard of. I only heard of it a few weeks ago by getting a listicle sent to my phone from the algorithm that is Google. This show, it is another Hanna-Barbera classic, I guess you could say. We're stuck on Hanna-Barbera. The show is called The Funky Phantom.
It sure is.
I think I'm going to make new music for this one because I just thought of something in my mind that would be perfect.
I think you have to. I have a thought on it. We'll get to it later.
Okay, we'll hear, because again, I've not watched my episodes yet. Grace told me to wait until she talks about hers. I'm familiar with the premise of the show, but I am going to let her take it away so that we can all enjoy this experience together. Grace,
yes.
Tell us about the Funky Phantom.
Yes, I specifically requested that Alexis did not watch her episodes until after mine, because I wanted a fresh reaction. I wanted to be full of surprises for you, to build up your own anticipation for when you get to go watch and do your episode, and just really, I wanted to surprise you with some things, you know?
Okay, cool.
So,
blow me away.
Yes, we're starting our new show. It's from the 1970s, 1971 specifically. So you know it's going to be fucking wild, like all 1970s Hanna-Barbera cartoons.
No rules back then.
Yes, it was made with many of the exact same people that created such hits as Scooby-Doo and such choices as Jabberjaw.
Damn it. We're right in the middle.
Truly, like time-wise and like collaboration crew-wise.
Yeah. So it's just like Ken Spears and...
I don't think... So I think the main difference is Ken Spears and Joe Gruby, I don't think wrote it. At least they weren't listed on Wikipedia. I'm sure they wrote it.
Okay.
But a lot of the usual voice actors pop up. And yes, William Hanna and Joseph Barbera, definitely in the room.
Yeah, produced.
But in the mix this time, instead of... Because it's, it's the same premise as every Hanna-Barbera show at the time.
Yeah.
We got crime-solving teens. We got a little sidekick who's a character of some sorts. But this time, instead of a scared, brave dog or an unhinged great white shark, we have a natural in-between of those two things, I would say. A ghost from the Revolutionary War. That's right. Said ghost is indeed our titular Funky Phantom.
The Funky Phantom.
The Funky Phantom. Don't get it twisted.
Happens to be an American Revolutionary War ghost. Soldier ghost.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, as usual, I'll take you through the background of this show, the general premise, and our main characters, because, Lord, we need all of those things before we launch into our episode. But first, unpinning what we just pinned 10 seconds ago of the music that you'll make for this episode.
Oh,
Have
yes.
some revolutionary like drum in there,
Oh, I didn't even think of
some little
that.
flute
No.
situation, but also
Okay,
funk.
that, yeah. Shit. None of those three things were in my mind of what the music would be. So I got to totally change course because I
Yeah.
like all of those better. I might just have to make a whole new, we might have to make a few new little sound
You're gonna have
bites for
to
this
dig
one.
real deep to find like the of them
Oh,
marching to
don't you
war
worry. Yeah.
against the Brits.
Oh, God, the red
So,
notes.
yes, yes. So, as for background of this show, I think William
Mhm.
Hanna, Joseph Barbera, and their usual gang, including Don Messick, the voice of Scooby-Doo, is involved in
Mhm.
this.
He's there.
He's there. Again, the usual crew pops up here.
Yeah.
We're either like they were for Jabberjaw, high, drunk, hopped up on coke. We don't know what they were
All of the
on.
above.
But I think they were in the writer's room, spitting ideas. They're on all of the above. They're ready to go. They got Scooby-Doo's a huge hit only 2 years ago. We need another one, another one. Let's go,
Mhm.
go, go, go,
Pumping
go.
out ideas.
Exactly. And I like to think, I've never been in a writer's room. I like to think sometimes like you have, other shows playing in the background to like, get your jokes going, get you in the mood to write some funny jokes and that kind of stuff. And I think in the background was a movie that Wikipedia mentioned, which is the 1946 Abbott and Costello film, The Time of Their Lives, which is about two Revolutionary War ghosts. And then, as this was playing in the background, everyone in the room looked at each other and said, I could do that. We could do that. There's nothing we can't do.
Dang it. I was going to
can't.
say Jabberjaw taught us that, but that came out after. So never
No, they
mind.
learned. This show walked so Jabberjaw
Funky
could
Phantom
ride
taught them. Exactly.
that
Funky
anything
Phantom
was
taught them that they could get
possible.
away with fuck anything. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I will say that like this show is definitely more Scooby-Doo. And I think from this show, and then I think shortly followed by The Amazing Chan, all of these things added up as did Coke habits that led them to then the 1976 being like, we didn't push it far enough. And that's how Jabberjaw came to be. So
early stages of the war on drugs. So Coke was all over the place.
Yeah, so it is reined back from Jabberjaw a little bit. It's more in the Scooby-Doo realm.
But didn't you say, Grace, and you'll probably touch on this later, but didn't you say that movie had two ghosts trapped in
it? It
did. I've only heard of one ghost so
far. You just wait until we get into our characters, you excited little ghost hunter, you.
It's just so ridiculous. I'm about to explode saying, anyway, go ahead.
Giving the who, what, where, when,
go ahead.
Why, how.
Bury the lead, won't you? Why don't you?
Yes. We're gonna get there. We're gonna, as yes. I always like to build up the tension of my intros. Keep here.
Building it up. Yes.
So, yes. Stick with me, everyone. These creators took tried and true Scooby-Doo formula, teenager solving a crime with a spunky sidekick, merged it with this Abbott Costello film, aka teams solving crime with a ghost sidekick or two. Which at first you're like, oh, okay, spooky haunted ghosts, like that seems kind of cool. I went on a roller coaster for this episode. My first reaction when I started it, like I got through the intro song and the first like 4 to 5 minutes, and I was like, what the actual living fuck is this? But I have to say, Alexis, by probably minute 7, I was like, I fucking love this show.
Oh, okay. There's a turn.
I was like, this is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
And it's solely due to our Revolutionary War ghost, which at this point you're probably wondering, who the heck is this ghost you keep talking about, Grace? Exactly. Also, how did these kids run into him? Why is he helping them solve crimes?
Is he haunting them? Are they
Right.
afraid of him? Yeah, I have a lot of
Exactly. Is
questions. I've not
this
seen this, Grace. You got to catch me up.
how did he show up? What's the deal? We're going to go even farther back than how did he show up into these teens' lives and talk about how he died and became a ghost first, which is important. It hasn't come up yet in the plot, but it's important for me to have this background and to thus for all of you to also have it.
Probably. Yeah.
So
probably wouldn't hurt.
Way back when, during the Revolutionary War, here in America, there was a Patriot soldier named Jonathan Wellington Muddlemore and his cat, Boo. They were in some mansion during the Revolutionary War, some house or something, when the British came in, aka the Redcoats, aka why then we wrote the Second Amendment so that you could avoid having the British invade your home unlawfully. But LOL, we're not going to get into that whole debacle. Right. But instead of fighting back, Muddlemore is a scaredy cat. He's a total coward. So instead of fighting these British invaders here, or people invading this house, he took his trusty kitty cat Boo and he found a great grandfather clock and hopped in there to hide from the British to not become a POW, I guess. Yeah. But very darkly, which I think this is why it's important to bring up, this man and this cat somehow got fucking stuck in this grandfather clock and fucking died in it. Which, like, let's think about all of this for a minute.
Grim.
Yes, exactly. Like
that says a lot about Muddlemore. What's it?
Muddlemore. Yeah.
Muddlemore. Like, it says a lot about him. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what it says, but
that he really loves his cat. I mean, that that he and the cat both died. He didn't eat the cat. He didn't starve. Like,
here's a question I ask later on that I'm gonna bring up now. I mean, they both died. Would you, if you were stuck, would you eat your cat? Like, the cat's gonna die.
Yeah, true.
You need food. Are you like, because we don't know if the cat died also from starvation or if Muddlefoot was like, or Muddlemore was like.
I keep thinking Muddlefoot too because Darkwing Duck.
Yes, that's why.
This is gonna be tough. Yeah, Muddlemore. Yeah, like, that is a great point. My assumption was that they like both just died from starvation or whatever, like lack of oxygen. Together. But you're absolutely right. Maybe, yeah. Huh.
Yeah, I think
no, it was very not beautiful at all. Actually,
yeah, I think it was fucking horrible. I think he ate Boo to survive a little longer, and then it was all for naught because he also died. So then he was also just haunted by the fact that he ate his best friend for no point because he still died of starvation. While in a standing position,
this will hold me over until I can bust out of this clock. Oh no!
And yikes! Here's the thing that also makes it worse: is that yes, they fucking died in there, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't know. I guess this home was just like abandoned or something like that because nobody finds the bodies because, okay, here's the thing. I'll tell you how they find the spirits here is that one day, some plucky teens and their dog were trying to find shelter from a storm and ran into this old abandoned house to get out of the storm. And they noticed the grandfather clock was set to the wrong time. So they set it to the correct time, which I guess was midnight, and that released the spirits. But
wait a minute. So they broke into this house and then reset their clocks?
I think it was an abandoned house because
abandoned.
The spirits still hadn't been released for 200 years. Apparently, I would assume no one has fucked with the clock. But that also means, did they walk into this house to mummified remains? Just like, could you smell this house from miles away?
Yeah. I guess by then, would it still even smell? I wonder. That's a long time. I mean, that shit would be totally decomposed.
Yeah. And also,
oh my God. And like maggots and like all sorts
Has no one come to this house in 200 years Or were people just like, I guess we'll just never open that grandfather clock? The realtor's like, it has a musty smell, a smell of history about it.
If you will.
Yeah.
AKA she's never sold a house in her life.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm like, great. We fucked with the clock and it released these spirits of Muddlemore and Boo, but like, yeah, where are the bodies? They just
by the way, they're totally decomposed. They're done.
Yeah.
Like the rats and maggots ate through the bone.
Yeah, 100%.
This sounds like a great place for these kids to seek shelter during a storm
and to start touching shit.
Rat infested. Yeah. It's crazy to me in my mind that like you come across this abandoned house, it's pouring rain, like maybe your car is going to break down regardless, you can't drive. And the first thing you think is, oh, wow, that clock is behind.
How are we going to know how long we're in here if not? You know what? We broke and entered this house. We might as well do the homeowners a favor. They're clearly not taking care of the place. It's daylight savings. Let's set their clock straight.
Oh, they forgot to change it. That's the least we can do for them. Thanks for letting us break and enter.
Wow, it smells really bad in here. Actually, the door was just broken down. There was no door, actually. But there were a lot of rats that we followed to get in here.
So wait, is this, do we see this backstory in your episode, or you're saying this all happens just in like the title sequence?
The intro song is the backstory. They sing and we see them in the house setting the clock and then the ghosts popping out.
So we get to watch this every week. Great.
At least it was the intro for the first episode, which is the one I've watched so far.
Oh, good point. Okay.
I'm gonna assume they didn't rewrite the episode or the intro every time. Yes.
Yeah.
So we get the backstory, which I appreciate. That like we're not just supposed to be like, I guess there's a ghost here. We have a solid, well thought out
backstory. Yeah.
Backstory to
thought out. This. I don't know about well thought out, but it is thought out.
It is a thing they decided.
That is one thing that they did not carry into Jabberjaw, though. They're like, remember we did backstories for Funky Fandom? How dumb was that? Let's just make the shark talk.
Yeah, that was so much work.
No explanation why.
We wrote a whole fucking song
read
about
a paragraph on the... We had to read about the Revolutionary War. There was like 5 whole paragraphs of information we had to kind of think about.
Yeah, no, we are just skipping forward like that clock right now.
Yeah.
So, yes, although I guess it's not ever explained, so they set the clock to midnight. All of a sudden, these spirits are released of Muddlemore, who I will say they call Mudsy. So that's going to be a little easier to remember. The Revolutionary War soldier is called Mudsy and Boo. Yeah. And I guess like Mudsy and Boo had nothing better to do. So they just like joined up with these teens after 200 years of being stuck in a grandfather clock. They were like, let's go.
This seems fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they know they're dead, right?
Yeah. No, they absolutely know they're dead. They bring it up all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're actually kind of bitter about it.
Yeah. They like regularly
talk about it all the time.
Yeah, they like won't shut up about it. And how it was like 200 years ago that they died. They're like, what the fuck is this technology? I died in 200 years ago. In the 1700s here, buddy. What do you want me to do about it? It's the 1770s.
To watch this. Okay.
Yes. So
great.
We're gonna go through.
I needed that to be cleared up for me because I was like, wait a minute.
No, they are
it even darker.
They're
just like
so
the
aware of their
play
mortality.
Along with it, like okay, their lack thereof.
Yeah, like
cool.
The kids very possibly like have some trauma, and that's why they're like, okay, a ghost. Like we recognize mortality.
Yeah, what have they been through?
Maybe we'll find out throughout this season.
They've been through?
We're gonna see.
Great.
Or this arc. So yes, I'm gonna go through the cast now. I am gonna save Mudsy for last. I have a lot to say about him.
Okay.
But first, we're gonna go through our little teen crew here. So first we have Skip, who is the leader of the gang. And he is voiced by Mickey Dolnez, I think, who this man, this voice actor, was a part of the Monkees, which is like a very fucking famous band from the late 60s. But for some reason, unlike all of these other later shows, they did not put these teens in a band, even though they had a literal rock star on the cast. I was so mad. So, anyways, missed opportunity. But Skip here is the brains of the gang. He's definitely kind of the leader. Kind of got a little like nerdy vibe to him. But at the same time, he's a cool 70s teen. He's lanky. He's got cool bell bottoms on and like a little sweater vest. He's totally crushing on April, who we'll get to in a minute here. But yes, before we get to her, I'll tell you about Augie. Augie is Skip's best friend, and he's like the jock meathead of the group. Like he's got like a Leatherman's jacket on, like kind of like bigger up top. It looks kind of like a football player situation. He's the brawn of the group, and on all of their adventures, his like big old bulldog named Elmo comes with them. Elmo cannot talk. The animals in the show cannot talk. I know, very sad, but
it's okay because there's a ghost.
Only ghosts, exactly. The ghost does enough. We didn't need the animals to also talk.
Star in his own right.
Exactly. So, yeah, Augie, brawn of the group, bulldog, Elmo. Augie is voiced by Tommy Cook, who is also Biff in Jabberjaw.
Oh my God! What?
I told you, it's just the revolving door.
It's all the usual.
You know
suspects.
how like Quentin Tarantino loves using the same actors.
Yes.
Wes Anderson uses the same actors. Like all of these famous directors, it's just
a lot of them. Yeah, Christopher
on
Nolan.
rotate.
Yeah,
no different right now. So yes, that is Augie.
Get out the Rolodex. Who can we call up?
Right. Who am I getting lunch with this week that I'm just going to drag to? Like, we're all at a party. Right. We're at a cocktail party together. Let's go to the studio right after this. And Augie also has a crush on April. So April.
Love triangle.
Drama.
I can't wait to hear that Muddlemore has a crush on her too.
Luckily, no.
The ghost. And then it turns into the movie Ghost, where he can never actually be with her because he's dead.
Pottery
and
scene.
Also because it's probably illegal because he's very old and she's not, I assume.
But you know what? The Revolutionary War times, didn't women like get married off at age like 12?
True, like 12.
April's like 16. He's like, you're too old for me.
Living in the past. You should be a grandma by now.
Wait, where are your 18 children? Oh, half of them have died. Oh, you didn't have any?
Oh, interesting. Oh,
embarrassing.
No thanks. Next.
Yeah, tainted goods.
Swipe.
Exactly.
He's already hip with the new technology.
So April is the last human member of the gang. She is a like 1960s mod chick. She's got the short skirt. She's got the flipped hair and the bangs. She, like many women, she does it all. She supports her friends. She helps create plans. She gives sass. Like, she's kind of an everything gal. But while we see her doing all of this, her main plot line that the writers are really hitting home is that Augie and Skip have crushes on her and are like constantly fighting about her. Like, she's the blonde hottie, and that's, even though she's doing all these other things, the writers are like,
ignore.
But look at her pose.
Exactly.
Which she
ignore how she's holding everything together and just think about how these two guys are fighting over her. Look at how cute
like exactly. Like, she's the hottie here, so pay attention to it.
Great.
But this was one of the two reasons I asked you not to watch the show yet, but is because I wanted to give you two descriptions before you launched into the show. And April is one of them. Because the animators, this was an animator's choice, animated her differently from everyone else. Well, everyone else in the show is like expressive and goofy and like, we're cartoon characters type of thing. April is so fucking creepy. Like,
He's mesmerizing. Look at her. Wait,
These
what?
animators, like everyone else has like the like in Jabberjaw, the like their eyes are just going to be two black dots with like kind of a arc that will represent their eyelids type of thing. But April has like
Hmm.
huge, very drawn out eyes that don't blink. She never changes her facial expression. Like she will be cheering for them. She will be being like, let's go get the bad guy. Botox, before Botox was invented, no blinking. But then Alexis, she's like really lanky and has like really long fingers. She's really long fingers, which like would be fine if they didn't give her unblinking eyes and if they didn't draw. This is the biggest part, is that they drew her nose instead of just being like, here's a nose. They just made it like two slits. So she looks like a snake.
Snake?
Yeah. And she's lanky with like the long fingers, the unblinking huge eyes, and this she looks like a fucking like human, like a snake that turned into a human, acting like it's a human.
Hello, fellow youth.
Exactly. Hello, fellow
It's
humans.
so exciting to meet you.
You humans, how's it going? It's like, I don't
And
know why.
and Augie and Skip are like, wow. She's like Ka. She's literally like Ka from the
Yes.
Jungle Book that like
Yes.
hypnotizes you. Come to me.
And yeah, I'm like, maybe it's like we're getting real deep here. We're getting real existential. Is this like, you know, her only quality is being the hottie? She's constantly tempting the two other mans, the original
The
tempter
apple
in the
from the
Garden of
tree.
Eden. Women as original sin. The devil is the snake. Like, this is getting real fucking deep. But then I remember this plot line of this show is a revolutionary ghost and his cat solving crimes.
They
So I
just,
don't think
in
it's that
reality,
deep.
the animators just ran out of ideas on how to draw characters. And they're like, fuck it, dude, give her slits for noses, for a nose.
It,
Um,
it's so like
I'm
unnerving.
so excited to wait. It's taking me a lot to not pull up Google and look up pictures of her right now because I really cannot wait to watch this.
Yeah.
Um, and I love how her whole thing in the show, as you described, is that, oh, look at her pose. Look at her. She's so pretty. She looks like a fucking snake.
Like literally at one point, they're like
Make up your
Augie and
mind,
Skip
writing team. Make up your mind.
are like fighting to like be like, who gets to sit in the back with April? And she just like sits there and goes, both of you can, boys. And I'm like, she's gonna bite their heads off like a fucking
Boy.
praying mantis. Like, boys, don't get in the back car with her.
So we've got two shows back to back where the leading ladies are like alien, reptilian, something beings.
Yes,
I
yeah.
love
She's
it.
like a reptile demon situation happening.
She sounds
Like,
beautiful. Augie and Skip, I get it.
I hear you,
I hear
honestly.
you. You make a
Um,
compelling point.
yeah, it's like I like watched like half of the episode and maybe like, yeah, I don't know. It was a long time that I was like, why every time it goes to her, am I like just like
It's
chill goes up my
jarring.
spine? And like again, like if it was just one of these three things of like unblinking eyes, okay, whatever, everything else is expressive. A weirdly drawn nose, but everything else is fine. Kind of lanky, great. That's like every guy character in these shows. There's at least one. But the three of them combined is just like, ugh, ugh.
I need like a jump scare warning, trigger
Yeah,
warning whenever
exactly.
she comes on
Every
screen.
time. Yeah, it's
Uh,
I hated it, frankly. I was like,
thanks, I hate it.
so then we have Boo, who, yes, as
Mm.
we mentioned at the top with the Abbott and Costello movie, there are two ghosts. And indeed, Boo, potentially eaten while in the grandfather
That's
clock,
right.
probably eaten in the grandfather clock.
Poor
Um,
boy.
is a ghost now as well. He
Mm-hmm.
is a cat. Doesn't speak, as we said, none of the animals speak in this show, at least thus far. And Boo is very precious. He wears like a little Robin Hood hat with a big feather out of it. And
Okay.
Boo loves mischief. He's always
Ah.
like punkin' Elmo, the bulldog, a classic cat dog dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
He is just stirring the pot constantly. He was like, I have been stuck in a grandfather clock with one dude for 200
Huh.
fucking years. I didn't even want to go in there. I was going to get taken by the British.
Was he stuck in there for 200 years or for 199 years and 4 months? Yeah, however long it took for him to eat him.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I was stuck in there for, and Mudsie just glares at him.
Yeah.
I mean, meow, 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 meow,
Meow,
meow.
meow, meow, meow.
Meow, 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 meow. Yeah, he's just like a little shit, and I love
Mhm.
him,
I
frankly.
can't wait. Okay.
Um, and last but certainly not least is the aforementioned Funky Phantom, the aforementioned reason that I was like, I fucking love this show, is Muzzy. Muzzy, in a word, is fabulous.
Yes. Ah, I was hoping I was sitting on the edge of my seat. Like, please tell me he's like our lawyer from last week.
Oh, he
So,
is,
yeah.
and more.
Yes.
So, first and foremost, some background here is that Mudsie is voiced by Dawes Butler, who is the voice of Huckleberry Hound, Elroy Jetson, Yogi Bear.
I didn't know he voiced Yogi too. Oh my God. What a legend.
And a slightly lesser known cartoon character. I looked at the picture and I was like, oh, okay, I kind of know who this is. But you'll see in a second why I'm specifically mentioning him, is a short-lived, perhaps, pink puma named Snagglepuss. And if saying Snagglepuss conjures up, yes, a pink puma. He's not the Pink Panther, a pink puma.
It does
who's
conjure up
like,
memories.
yeah, he's got a lot of attitude. You'll recognize him if you're familiar with him because Dawes Butler just used the exact same voice for Snagglepuss and Mudsie. No changes.
None.
I'm like thinking about what order to say this. So first, I guess I will say is that Snagglepuss once, so in theory, then also Mudsie, was once doing like a Kellogg's like promotion or something like that. Like Dawes was doing it.
Back to Kellogg's.
And a legal action got slapped on this commercial because the voice of Snagglepuss and thus Mudsie is almost literally the voice of the Cowardly Lion and Wizard of Oz.
Oh.
And the actor from that didn't want like the world to think he had endorsed this Kellogg's cereal product or something. And so he was like, I'm going to sue the shit out of you. So the commercials always had to say Snagglepuss voiced by Dawes Butler at the bottom of them.
That's hilarious. Oh my God.
Which I love that he was like, I don't think so. If I'm not getting cuts from this, you can't copy my voice.
Shtick.
Yeah.
Good
so
for him,
with that,
whatever that actor's name is, he's not so much of a coward after all, is he?
Exactly. Now you got lawyers in between you. You can do anything.
Exactly. You can do anything.
Yes. So this voice, and I'm sure you've seen The Wizard of Oz a long time ago. Cowardly Lion, very distinct voice. Snagglepuss, distinct voice. Thus, Mudsie, distinct voice. And like this voice is why I fucking love Mudsie in this show. Because when I first was like, a Revolutionary War ghost, like this is gonna be some like uptight, rough and gruff, like I'm still in the war or like PTSD. Like it's gonna be like a weird vibe, is what I was thinking. And also I had just come off of Jabberjaw.
Teenagers.
Yeah. And like I just come off of Jabberjaw. So I was like, or it's gonna be just like unhinged and like have no through line, like anything go. I was just like, my expectations were low for this.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, yes, we have Dawes Butler doing Snagglepuss doing Cowardly Lion, which means he's got like this draw in his voice constantly, and he's very theatrical, and everything is very dramatic constantly.
Oh, God.
He is fabulous.
Which
and
is
this
great
is how
because,
he
didn't
talks
he sound
nonstop.
low-key British?
No, not at all. He wasn't a redcoat.
Like,
He'd been Americanized at that point.
Yeah, but everyone in America still spoke slightly British at that point. They were like, or I guess from wherever they came from. I don't know, it's just funny. It's like, oh, that's interesting accent. Good.
I like also that the question was not like British, but like, oh, this very modern, very dramatic accent, which could have been British as well, but it just wasn't. Dawes was like, look, I've got 5 voices. One of them is Snagglepuss. We're reusing it right now.
We're using it. How many seasons of this show do we really think we're going to get?
Yeah.
All right. Like, 1. Yeah. I'm just going to recycle Snagglepuss here.
Yeah, exactly.
This is great. Oh, God. I cannot wait to watch this.
Honestly,
to experience this, Grace.
The best acting choice he could have ever made. Like, Mudsie, so Boo, the cat ghost, is like all white. So he looks like a little ghost. Mudsie is similar, like just completely white clothes, hair, et cetera, et cetera. He's still got on his like Revolutionary War outfit. He's like a little pudgy. He's got some thin facial hair. But
it's all white.
It's all white. Yep. So that's how you know he's a ghost. It looks like he's been covered in flour.
Clothes also turn into ghosts. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Everything's all white. He occasionally throws on a scarf just because he can.
Oh. I love him because I know he says it just like that too.
He also has constant one-liners that are every one of them iconic. He is cultured. He is dramatic. Oftentimes it's just like, oh, heavens to Philadelphia. Heavens to Virginia. He's constantly making like Revolutionary War, colonial America references. He's constantly being like, I can't do that technology. I don't even need it. I've lived for 200 years without it. Why would I need to watch a television now? I love him. He's my everything. I wish he was more in my life than just one season. Yes, but Mudsie still, even in this modern day, he's still a scaredy cat of most things, except for when his friends are in trouble, then he steps up. Also important, I think, to note of just like, what are the ghost rules here? Like, how do ghosts work in this situation? They can pretty much do everything from like every ghost lore. They can like blink in and out of existence. They can walk through walls, but they are also like, and how I never can say corporeal. They can like hold objects and like, pick things up type of thing. Like they're not just like spirits who can't come in contact with things. They can do other cool ghost shit. There's like no ghost rules for them.
So can they communicate with anyone or do only the teenagers hear them?
Nah, anyone that feel like it.
Anyone? Okay, cool.
Anyone,
cool,
anytime.
Good. Awesome.
No
so they're
rules
practically
for them.
human. They're just dead.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I can like walk through walls and that kind of shit. And
that's right. Yeah.
Basically teleport and blink in and out.
That's true. Yeah. Wait.
They can do
you can't
everything.
Do that? Okay.
What? Weird. So, anyways, with that extremely long introduction that all of this felt very important to tell you about, let's get into the first episode of The Funky Phantom, Season 1, Episode 1, entitled Don't Fool with a Phantom.
Noted.
So, we begin out in the country at a quiet, quaint farm, but not quiet for long, for we suddenly see a water tower on the farm suddenly collapse and crash down to the ground.
Wow.
Presumably flooding all of the farm's fields, ruining some other buildings, et cetera, et cetera. And we see in like the farmhouse on the property, all of the lights blink on, and an older bald man sticks his head out the window and gasps, obviously seeing his entire livelihood being ruined.
Yeah.
We hear him go, oh, the Raven. Meanwhile, Yes.
Don't leave me hanging on like that. What the hell? I gotta know more about this raven.
Meanwhile,
And no, okay.
presumably the next day, we join our crew in their car, which is like a dune buggy that they drive.
Of
They're
course.
out on every
Of course
good
it
gang
is.
needs a car, and theirs is a dune buggy.
Of
Because why
course.
not?
Why?
Fuck it.
Why not? They're yeah, never mind. Okay. All right. Fuck it.
That's just every show in the 70s. Whatever, fuck it.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Again,
No,
bands were overplayed.
yeah, they're like, we've already done this.
Yeah. Cool.
Next. So they're out driving on like an isolated dirt road because we learn that Skip has decided to teach Mudsie how to drive. And Mudsie, for his part, pops into the front seat. I'm just gonna call it like he like blinks in and out of existence. He blinks in the front seat and goes, "For heaven's sake, why do I need to learn how to drive now?" Which, like, great question. He doesn't fucking need to learn how to drive.
I
He can
know.
teleport. He can do what he
Yeah,
wants.
exactly. And he's got
Need this shit.
three teenagers, however many, to drive him around. Okay,
Yeah. He
great.
doesn't even need a ride. He's a fucking
He's a
ghost.
ghost. Where does he even have to
Anyways.
go?
Yeah, he's got nowhere to be. He's hanging out with some
Yeah.
teen. And no. But these teens, like teens do, peer pressure him into doing what they want. So he gives in, decides to give it a whirl. Smartly, again, they're on like an abandoned road, so they're not going to kill anyone in this process
Okay,
or
good,
anything like that.
good. They at least thought that far through.
Yeah. He's like doing fine. He's like a little on the swervy side. Augie is cheering him on to go faster and faster. Meanwhile, April and Skip are like pointing out all the hazards on the road because they didn't think that part through. There's rocks, there's potholes. Like, this is a country road here. Maybe not the safest, but like also, Mudsie's already dead. So, like, what is danger? Like,
Yeah, he's
doesn't
like,
fucking matter to
you
him.
guys should be worried. I'm fine. Me and
Yeah,
Boo
this
are
was
good.
your idea. I'm chill with this.
You only
Whatever
die
happens, happens,
once.
bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he is swerving a lot, at which point Elmo, that dog, tumbles out of the car, and Boo, the cat, is like pointing and laughing at him, like, you fell, sucker. Again, I'm already dead. You almost died. Isn't that a
I'm
good
dead.
prank? Like, what are you gonna do about it,
Yeah.
dog? So Boo, though, being like, that was pretty fun almost killing Elmo. Wonder if I could almost kill these friends is, I think, constantly Boo's plot line in his head. Because he like blinks out of like the back of the car where he was laughing at Elmo and blinks back to the pedals in the car, and he like smiles up at everyone and just puts all of his weight on the gas pedal, going
Grace,
full pedal to the metal.
you described Boo as mischievous before, not murderous.
You know, I
Yeah.
didn't realize until I was retelling it out loud.
You're like, wait,
Out loud.
this is a step beyond mischief.
I realize now that, yeah, you know what? In retrospect, who killed who? Not who rescued who, who killed who in that grandfather clock.
Holy shit, you're right. Boo ate Mudsy. And that would have lasted Boo for a long time.
For so long. He's just a single cat in there with
He just
9
needs a few
lives.
nibbles a day to survive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And again, Mudsey's kind of big dude.
Oh shit. Wow. This just took a dark turn. This is
Who
what really
rescued
happened
who?
1,000%. Boo was saving Mudsy from a horrible, long, drawn-out death. Honestly, they only lasted like 10 minutes before Boo killed
Who's like sliced his throat with his claws.
immediately. As soon as Mudsy like first tried to open the clock
Yeah.
back up and it wouldn't open, Boo's like, all right, well, you're dead.
We're fucking stuck in here. Like, no one's coming
Cats
for
have
us,
no
bro.
sense of reality and perception of time. To that cat, to Boo, they'd already been in there for 20 years. Also, it just dawned on me, was Boo the cat's name before it died? Because if so, how ironic.
That's probably why he was like, oh, you're gonna name me that? You just fucked up.
Fine. I'm gonna turn both of us into ghosts.
Also, I like to think that in reality, like, when their spirits like tumbled out of the grandfather clock, Muzzy was like, oh, thank God, finally someone saved me. And Boo was just like sharpening his claws. And just like smiling. That's what he does every time he's about to cause some shit. He just
oh no,
smiles at the camera.
Oh no.
Wow.
This cat.
I do regret a little bit being like, wow, I love Boo, because now I feel bad about saying that.
I kind of like Boo a little bit.
Not
more.
that bad.
I'm not gonna lie.
Again,
Typical cat behavior. Guarantee you that cat
show.
must have been orange when it was alive. Exactly. That's orange cat behavior.
The cat had killed before. And is trying to kill again.
It actually is mad that it's dead because it can't kill apparently
as easily. That's why it has to do all this mischief now instead. Yeah. Which I mean, we do see the car rip and careen down the road, immediately ramming into a fence that it flies through with all these humans still in the car. And then it flies and absolutely crashes into a barn, wrecking the car. So, great. I mean, Boo has other ways.
Yeah. Boo's like, damn, I got so close that time.
Boo hasn't lived these 9 lives for nothing. He's learned a lot in them. So, yes, like I said, of course, the car absolutely crashes. Hearing, of course, the commotion, the very same Farmer Higgins from the night before runs out into his barn, pitchfork in hand, yelling at them, saying, "You better not be pulling any more tricks, Raven." And the crew is like, whoa, it's okay. Like, don't stab us with this pitchfork, please. Like, it's just us. It's just some kids.
Misunderstanding. Yeah.
Also with our ghost. And then Mudsie appears. Immediately the farmer like screams and passes out.
Okay, good. I was going to ask how normal people react to the news of the ghosts traveling with them. Good.
I really appreciated in this show that like oftentimes it was either like Mudsie would appear and people freak the fuck out like you would for a ghost, or the teens are like, Mudsie, hide yourself. And he like blinks out of existence. So it's like, I like that it's not just like, we have a great white shark who talks and walks with us.
Exactly.
Jabberjaw.
Isn't this so normal?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, this is how you would operate in the world if a ghost was your friend.
Yes, exactly.
Most likely.
Very good. Very good.
But when he comes to, again, you know, the crew's been like, okay, you're okay. Wake up. It's okay. Yes, it is a real ghost. Yes, the crew very calmly explains, they're like, it's okay. We took your pitchfork from you. It's all right. Don't worry. Yes, this is our ghost Betsy.
Time we've done this.
Yes, this is our bestie here, Mudsie, and his cat Boo. You know, he helps us on adventures. He's a helpful ghost. Mudsie, the helpful ghost. And Farmer Higgins, he's fucking had a day. Last night, his water tower crashed down. Now there's a fucking ghost in his barn that has now just crashed to the ground as well. But apparently, seeing a ghost that's just crashed into his barn is a relief, because this is not the worst thing that's happened to him lately. He says he could really use some help. Like, TBH, I thought y'all, you know, I'm glad it's a relief that there's a terrifying, revolutionary, more fabulous ghost here. Because honestly, I thought y'all were sent by the Raven, which would have been way worse. And so, yes, like you, Alexis, they immediately are like, who, what, where, when, how, why is the Raven?
I'm intrigued.
What is this, perhaps? Because, like, I guess they're not assuming it's an actual Raven, even though Ravens, like all corvids, are extremely smart. So, like, I don't know. It could be. Which Farmer Higgins then shows everyone a note that had been left on his door. And at the top of the note has a drawing of a raven flying. So again, this could be an actual bird. It could be a raven. This is self-portrait on this note. He's like, hey, it's me. What's up?
It's me. Look.
But the rest of the note, after the beautiful self-portrait of this bird, says, beware of the raven and leave your farm or else. In all caps. It's very fine script, as I would expect a raven to have good calligraphy skills, just kind of on principle here. So, Farmer Higgins, you have a question about this bird, Raven?
I need to hear you say more, because I'm
You're
keep
curious?
going. No, now I'm curious, not so much of the Raven, but I'm like, this could be anyone. Just saying, beware of the Raven. This could just be a drawn out prank. But that's why I'm like, I need you to just say more before I start criticizing this Raven, who we've not
I
even met
mean,
yet. I'm
maybe that's
jumping
the
ahead.
point. Maybe the point is to constantly have fear
It's
in
to
the
scare
farmer's
someone.
heart every time he
Exactly.
walks outside.
Yeah. There
Caca,
really is no
caca,
Raven. It's just someone pretending that there is a Raven to keep him on
caca,
edge. I know.
caca. He's tweaking out, man. That's why he ran with his fucking pitchfork. He was like, I'm gonna set
He
this,
just brings it with him
like,
everywhere.
yeah, I'm gonna set this place on fire. I've killed, he's like, there's hundreds of ravens strewn about his farm. He's losing it.
Is that the one? Is that the Raven? Is that?
A shotgun always ready.
Yeah.
But he does go on to continue to explain a little more. Not too
Yes.
much, though. We still don't know who the Raven is. But he does say that ever since he got this note, everything on the farm has been going wrong. Like things keep getting destroyed, like that water tower. And it's getting to the point that it's beyond repair and he's going to have to sell his farm.
Mm.
So, like any good 70s plucky gang of teens, Skip says, well, doggone it, we'll raise the money to help you save this farm.
Oh, that's not what I was expecting.
What do you think they were going to say?
I thought they were we'll find the Raven and get him to stop threatening you, not raise the money. They're like,
and then April says,
okay.
And we'll catch the Raven.
Okay. I thought they were going to be like, we don't want to have anything to do with that possibly dangerous person, but we will help you raise some money. You want us to start you a GoFundMe page, sir?
They're going to do both. They're going to catch the Raven.
Good for them.
And he's still in financial ruin, though, just because they catch the Raven. Like, his water tower still fucking destroyed his crops.
Good for them.
Again, Skip, very smart.
Yeah.
Mudsie is like, no, thank you, when it comes to catching the Raven. He is not interested in this part of it. And, though, they're like, so Skip, how are we going to raise this money, BT dubs? And Skip is like, well, coming up in town is a countywide car race with a huge pot of money at the end. So we'll just enter the race and fucking win. Duh. But if you recall, they just crashed their car.
Okay. They just this race provides you with a car. I don't see how this will go.
They do not. So Augie points this out. He's like standing next to their absolute like accordion style smushed car and is like, what's the plan, Skip? What's the plan here? But old Farmer Higgins, who's like, great, someone's got a plan because I fucking don't. He offers his like super out of date, like rusted old tractor and is like, well, you can just like fix this up if you want and you can use it. To which I'm like, what? They're gonna use this old tractor like it's not any better.
Nothing about these kids screams like auto mechanic.
Yeah, none of them seem to know what they're doing. But they didn't need to fix up a car. Instead, all they needed to do was create a Mad Max vehicle, which is exactly what they do.
Picture Derby style.
A dune buggy with the front of like a steam engine tractor and an American flag on the front of it.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
But like an old-timey Revolutionary War.
That was Mudsie's contribution.
And a single star.
And it's done.
So, yes, that is what they put together. They're very proud of it. But does
it drive fast?
Oh, you'll find out.
Okay.
Anyways, we see, though, on this farm that from the bushes, we see a shadowy figure watching them. Seeing them now rip around in their nice ass, not nice, in their janky ass
car,
in their Mad Max Fury Road vehicle,
not even car.
Yes, and overhears this plan, and we see the shadowy figure run off.
Oh, not fly off like a.
We see it leave, I should say. Yes, perhaps. But as this is happening, we see down on the farm another regular car pull up. And another old man walks out. He's got a mustache. And Farmer Higgins greets him. They're obviously friends. This is the town banker named Carter. And so Carter tells the farmer Higgins basically like, I got good news and bad news for you. Good news, a client has come in to make an offer on your farm. The bad news, a client has come in to make an offer on your farm. Obviously, they're buddies, old pals. He's like, I don't want to see you have to go through this, but like at least someone's willing to buy it. But also like this situation sucks.
Yeah.
Kind of good news, bad news situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the gang begs Higgins not to accept the offer yet, at least until the race is over. And Carter, hearing this, that they're going to plan on enter the race, he's like, oh, like I have a car in that race too. I have a souped up Formula One vehicle with a professional driver that I've entered.
Have you seen our demo derby dune buggy tractor trailer out front?
Literally, he looks at the car and goes, oh, you're planning to enter the race in this? Which is basically being like, in this piece of shit?
This might not even make it off the farm.
Yeah, exactly. Like, don't give my old friend here false hope. Okay. He's going through a hard time. This is not what his heart needs right now.
Okay. Yeah.
It's old and frail, my dudes.
Oh, goodness.
So that night, the crew of ours is snoozing in the hayloft. Very adorably, I will say. Elmo and Boo are cuddling. Elmo's all curled up. Boo's on top of him. It's very cute. But Elmo, the bulldog, wakes up when he hears these noises outside, just outside of the barn, and he sees shadows like quickly moving about. So, like a good boy, he wakes up and runs to Augie and starts barking, like an alarm barking, basically. And everyone wakes up and they run out of the barn to realize their Mad Max car has been stolen. So,
wow.
Yeah, like, yes.
Well, then we know no one stole it to use it.
Someone was like, yeah, I need the copper. We stripped this car. People are all about it these days.
Like, sure, it's probably got like $50 worth on there.
Worth it. So, like the good animals they are, Elmo and Boo start tracking the trail of the car, which takes them deep into the woods. As they're going, it's kind of like a little swampy woods situation. Mudsie is not happy. And Skip calls him out on being scared. He's like, you're always such a coward, Mudsie. To which Mudsie says, I'm not scared. I wasn't scared when I dumped the tea into the sea at Plymouth Rock. And all these educated teens do the exact face that you do.
Okay.
Viewers, which listeners, if you're watching on YouTube, another plug for our YouTube Saturday Morning Mysteries. Pause and turn to him and say, the Tea Party? You mean the Boston Tea Party in Boston Harbor? Not at Plymouth Rock? And Muncie just waves his hand and goes, well, I simply couldn't make it to all the tea parties, don't you know?
Oh, God, this guy's great. You're right. He's absolutely fabulous.
Absolutely fabulous.
And in my mind, he is also Tim Curry for some reason.
That would be the
like in
the
his
British
heyday, yeah,
version.
like the early '80s version. Tim Curry,
yes. Would in a redo of the show would absolutely need him, or like it would be perfect for it.
Yes, great. I cannot wait.
So the crew, tracks the trail to this spooky old mill in the middle of the woods, which is entirely boarded up. And like any good 70s gang of teens, they go ahead and decide to break and enter and do a little B&E here. Hilariously, also, yet again, they're doing it by like climbing up to like the second floor window and busting into it. And Muzzy is like, I don't think so, and just blinks onto the other side. Well, like you could have just gone in and opened the door for them.
Exactly what I was going to say. It's like, no, I'll watch them sweat.
He made him work for it, which again, love.
What an icon.
He really is. So in this creepy old abandoned mill, they start poking around. They split up to look for clues. We've got Skip, Mudsie, and Abu, and then Augie, Elmo, and April. I will say notably, Augie and Skip fought for a second about who got to split up with April. Augie won because he is the jock, bigger. So he probably was like cracked his knuckles. And Skip was like, okay, I'm sorry. You're my best friend, but I'm sorry. You could go split off with her.
Don't hurt me.
Actually. So as they're poking around, we do see shadowy figures watching them from like up in the rafters. So again, is it a real bird? They're up in the rafters.
Those ravens, damn it, they hang up in the rafters.
They're up there, baby.
If it's not a bird, if it's actually people at this point, I'm concerned. Just imagine seeing people shimmying. Yeah.
They heard someone breaking in. They were like, ah, fuck, run.
Go to the rafters.
Exactly. They got scared.
Cool. Mm-hmm.
So, yes, the crew splits up to look for clues, but within moments of splitting up, a trapdoor opens beneath April, Augie, and Elmo, and we just see them launch down this trapdoor into the unknown. Meanwhile, Skip, Mudsie, and Boo are walking around, and they got like a little, not like separated, like they're still in the same room, but Mudsie and Boo are looking at something else, and a secret door opens, and a masked figure jumps out, throws a bag over Skip's head, and drags his body behind the door and closes it.
That's so violent.
It's so violent. It's just like, yank, door closes. Exactly. It's like legs are flailing.
Sorry, and you said he's with Boo and Mudsie?
Yeah, and they don't notice it at all.
Oh, okay. But also it's bad because it looks like he's by himself too. Like, why wouldn't they give him like Elmo or something? Give him one of the real life things.
Augie didn't give a fuck. Augie was like, well, Elmo's my best friend, goes with me everywhere. And I'm trying to go with April. So
yeah. So Elmo and April, you come with me. Skip, you get the ghosts. Good luck.
Hope that cowardly ghost doesn't disappear on you and make it seem like you're alone. I don't know.
Yeah.
See ya.
You'll probably be fine.
Yeah. Well, good luck with that.
And so that is terrifying. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So yes, Mudsie doesn't fucking notice at all. But we do join the humans on the bottom floor, or just, I don't know, I guess the basement of this building, and Elmo. And we see that they're all now completely tied up in like potato sacks, essentially, that are like rope. I don't know what this mill is doing, frankly, but
yeah, I forgot what they were underneath for a second. I was like, wait,
yeah,
a potato farm.
And you know what? Maybe they're flour sacks because they're sitting on a conveyor belt on their way to a giant grindstone to, I guess, pulverize them.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe it's flour sacks, not potato sacks.
Check your flour, everybody.
Maybe somebody
parts of a ghost and a ghost patriot and a ghost cat. Although they're already white, so I guess
again, like I said at the beginning, look like they're covered in flour.
Yeah.
But as we see them on the conveyor belt, we do finally see the raven.
Oh.
Who unfortunately is not a real bird. We think.
All right. There's a glimmer of hope left.
Because this figure is dressed entirely in gray and black. There's a hood up with like basically a mask, a black mask covering their entire face.
Oh.
And he's cackling as a sidekick who's literally just looks like a chimney sweep. Like just some like portly dude at the end of the conveyor belt who like turns it on.
This is my job.
I guess I'm doing this now.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. That's That's his vibe.
Yeah, it's easy work, but the money's pretty good.
It's mindless, and a job's a job.
Yeah, yeah, it pays the bills. I can get groceries. Um, I have to ask a question about the Raven. The
Yeah.
Raven. You didn't say it, so I assume he's not. But does he have a beak on?
No, we're not in Jabberjaw anymore.
Oh, no, I do miss Jabberjaw after all. It is
Okay.
messing with my mind too. There was a point where I forgot that if this is more like Scooby-Doo, then they're probably going to take a mask off this person. And in my mind, I'm like, no, the Raven is like clearly some well-known supervillain who has been like concocting plans to take over the world. I'm like, no, wait,
Again,
it doesn't Jabberjaw anymore.
the
He
writers
doesn't
were
dress like
like,
a raven.
we could have pushed it further and very more literal all the time.
Yes, they
Let's
learned.
go.
They learned.
Yeah.
All
So,
right.
yes, unfortunately, it's not a literal fit
Okay,
that he's
well,
wearing.
in
Yes.
my mind, it still is, but okay, that's fair.
Yeah. I mean, that's fine. They can still
Mhm.
be. Who's telling you no?
Mhm.
We literally have a
No one.
snake lady.
Yeah.
The fuck says Raven doesn't
God
have a
damn it, I
beak
almost
on?
forgot.
Never forget.
Okay, I won't now. I'm terrified all over again.
It should be. So, yes, the Raven is cackling as his chimney sweep sidekick turns on the conveyor belt to send the crew directly towards this giant grindstone. But, like, yes, it's a giant grindstone. Okay, great. You're going to get pulverized, et cetera, et cetera.
Hmm.
This conveyor belt is moving so slowly that, like, the Raven walks with them as he laughs and then eventually stops laughing because it's taking so long for them to get to the grindstone. It's like
He's
a
like,
leisurely stroll.
they're like
while,
tied up and
while
stuff,
they're
right? They're
laughing.
tied up in the sacks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
So he's
they
just
could
he was
very
like,
easily
well,
just
let
like
me walk with you.
roll off. But then he would have to like this the Raven would have time to pick them back up and put them back on before they
Yeah.
got to the grindstone. It's so
But it would be
funny.
fine because he would have plenty of time to do it. Right?
Exactly. It's like
Okay.
the least intimidating. It like zooms in on the grindstone and then it's just like whoop, whoop,
Step by
whoop.
step.
I imagine the Raven is like, so you got next to kin, parents' phone numbers I can
Yeah.
call and let them
Where
know
you guys
that
coming in town
you're
from?
dead. Oh, for the race tomorrow? Yeah, that'd be pretty
Oh,
cool.
cool, cool. I know someone in that. Cool, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think I'm gonna enter my own car. I just got this new car. Well, it's not really fully a car, It's kind of. Have you guys heard of Mad Max? It'll come out in 10 years, but like I've
Yeah.
got this idea. Let me
It's
tell
really
it to
cool.
you.
Let me tell it to you. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, so you're doing that race.
So
Cool. There's a nice restaurant over there by the starting line. Oh, well, you guys won't be able to go anyways, but it's a nice
you know what?
restaurant. Trust
Actually,
me.
I got time to go pick something up and bring it back for
You just want to
you.
try
Last
some?
meal. It's an Italian
Like pulls
joint.
out the menu. He's walking with the menu
I
so they can
really
read it.
recommend the lasagna. That's an entire thing. So luckily, though, it's this fucking slow
Mhm.
because we see suddenly the lever that the chimney sweep's just chilling by at this point suddenly rip in the other direction, which stops the conveyor belt. And the chimney
Mhm.
sweep is trying to pull it back to keep things
He had
going.
one fucking job.
He's like, I get paid to turn this thing on, not
Oh,
off
I
and
have no
on.
clue how to turn it
I have to
off.
reset it. This is a union job, buddy.
This wasn't in my training.
I'm calling the union on this one. No, thank you.
Uh,
But he does try at least once to pull it back. There's such resistance to it, and he can't figure out why. And that's when we see, bam, a fucking ghost in front of him. And Mudsy, I will say, is usually like walking when he's in ghost form, but he can change to like scary, floating in the sky spirit vibe,
mm,
which Mudsy, if there's one thing we know about him, he loves the drama.
yes.
He lives for drama. He is the drama. He is the moment.
I never wanted to be in the military. It was a draft, it was mandatory. I always wanted to be an actor.
The stage is where my real calling has always been. I was gonna make it back one day. I was gonna make it back to Paris and perform on the grand stage there. But no, war. What is it good for?
War call. Absolutely nothing.
Nothing. And understandably for this underpaid, probably just barely enough paid chimney sweep, a fucking ghost who's fighting him actively.
He's like,
says, my break starts now, and he jumps out a window. And Boo is like, perfect. Yeah. Granted, I think they were on a first floor, but still, like, I forgot that for a moment, and I was
That's hilarious. Your face. Again, another plug to watch the YouTube videos.
I was like, oh, fuck. And again, realizing that, yeah, Boo loves murder and Boo probably fucking tripped the chimney sweep. The chimney sweep was probably just running, and Boo tripped him, because then we see Boo with a hammer and nail.
Oh God, where'd he get that?
Right by the Raven's feet. And at first I was like, is he about to put this nail through the Raven's foot?
Biblical.
Yeah. Like, holy fuck. But no, he just like nails the bottom of the Raven's pants to the floor so that he falls and trips.
Okay, good.
But
the writers considered it, for sure. And Hanna-Barbera was like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Boo meant to stab his foot. And he missed because the Raven was running.
He was moving around too much. Yeah.
Boo was mad that this happened. Gosh. This slowing down of the Raven gives Mudsy time to go untie everyone, saves everyone hilariously as everyone like gets out of, the flour bags, jumps off. Raven's trying to, I guess rip his pants or something. Mudsy, instead of like checking in on his friends, goes, women and ghosties first, and runs. He's fucking leaves.
Oh, we're going to do so much fun, wild speculation about Mudsy. I have like 1,000 ideas about his past life already, Grace.
Yes, so give me everything.
Okay.
Yeah, in our rewrite of this show, our reboot of this show, we're going to have flashbacks to his original life all
the time. Because, he was if you think he's a character now, he was absolutely a character in the mid 1700s. Because he was so taboo back then.
Everything about him was.
And that's why he loves the modern day so much more. Because he's like, oh my gosh.
He's celebrated.
So much, exactly. Mudsy. Yeah. Okay. Great. I cannot watch this.
Why, again, within the first 10 minutes, first 5 minutes, I was like, what the fuck is this? And then I was like, oh, what is this?
That's what this is. What is this?
How the tables turned on and
okay.
I played myself on this one. So as they run out of this old mill, they indeed run into their Mad Max souped up car and are able to get away, as Raven finally is able to undo themselves and is shaking their gloved fist as they zoom away. And the next day is race day. And we see the Mad Max ride pull up, like tooting some steam out, like clunking over. Yeah. Mudsy and Boo are not currently visible. They're in the car, but they've, made themselves invisible because it's a giant fucking crowd. The entire county and town is out for it.
Okay.
And they see Carter walk up to them, kind of do a check-in on how Farmer Higgins is doing. They're like, oh, are you racing? And he's like, heavens, no, I'm not going to be the one racing. Like, I got a race car driver. Here's my fucking Formula One car.
I'm rich enough to pay someone to win for me.
I'm the literal banker of this entire county.
Yeah.
What's up? So, yes, Higgins and Carter go off to the sidelines to watch the actual race. And so the race begins. But as I said, this is a Mad Max car, so it might look like a hunk of junk, but it fucking rips ahead of everybody else.
Okay.
They souped it up. I don't know how they figured it out. Either way, they did. But as they rip ahead of everyone, there are a number of obstacles that start getting in the way of our intrepid heroes here. And we see them being set by the Raven. They don't see it at first, but it's the classic. There's a detour sign that leads them to a bad road and literally off a cliff. There's a downed tree. Okay, well, I'll go a little slower. They go off the cliff.
Yeah.
In this falling, we see them free fall. And in the free fall, all of the humans end up landing on like the front of the like tractor, and then Mudsie is behind the wheel. It's a good thing he learned how to drive.
I guess, yeah.
So he's ripping. There's a downed tree. We see the Raven with a chainsaw. And then, yeah, what's your question? You had a question?
No, I just
somehow.
No. What is there to question? Nothing.
What's up?
It was more of just like a shock of like the Raven being out in the open in the public. Like, let me cut down this tree that everyone can see me doing on this race course anyways.
I will say it's not a round race course. It's like going through the countryside.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, like a Grand Prix style type of, yeah.
Yeah, and there was like just a crowd at the beginning. Raven's also wearing gray and black. They're shadowy. They're doing it. They're trying to be tricky. But I will say, and I didn't originally write this down, but again, when speaking aloud, all of this, right now, realizing that, okay, yeah, there was a down tree. We see like the Raven with this, chainsaw, like bzzz, knocking it down.
Yeah.
Now I realize it's important to point out that how they get around this obstacle is we suddenly see the chainsaw floating and then the tree in the middle of the ground being absolutely fucking shredded. And then Boo appears just holding the chainsaw.
But it isn't Mudsie driving. So who did it? Oh, wait.
It was Boo. It was Boo. It was the cat.
Boo.
Who is just swinging that chainsaw around, baby.
Boo has experience with chainsaws.
Yes, we are now seeing it like literally pulverizes it into sawdust. So yeah, I'm really realizing now that
Boo 1000%
is a lot more than I thought.
Yeah,
originally. And then another, totally classic obstacle in a cartoon race. We see the Raven in a helicopter swinging a wrecking ball down at them.
Science experiment. How heavy of a wrecking ball? How heavy could the wrecking ball be for a helicopter to not just like
down it?
Yeah. Also, where did he get the helicopter and the wrecking ball?
Or the wrecking ball was that a like 2-for-1 sale? Did they have to make this separately? Did they call Miley Cyrus? Ask about wrecking ball advice?
They find a store that's like, man, we have all these wrecking balls and all these helicopters. We just can't sell them.
How do we market this?
We can't. Then, buy one BOGO.
Here's the thing. We'll keep the price the same, but we'll call it BOGO and people will buy that shit up.
I mean, most people tend to not buy a wrecking ball, but if you could get one for free with a helicopter, would you not? I would.
That seems fun as hell.
Find out how to buy the helicopter first.
I have other stuff to get to.
Why not?
Yeah, if you're already buying a helicopter, you're already over the top.
Yeah, exactly. So
add it on.
Go and get you a wrecking ball too.
Yeah, like throw it on in there.
Yeah.
Attach it yourself though. Sorry, good luck.
Yeah. Right. That they do not do installation.
No. That's your own journey.
Great.
Somehow, yes, the crew is able to evade all of these captures. We've got a lot of Mudsie one-liners during this chase.
Oh, goodness.
Including, well, heavens to Betsy Ross, which is one of my favorites. And then
Mudsie and Betsy Ross were absolutely besties. Okay.
They sat in that sewing circle.
So much tea.
They said they dropped it into the harbor.
They actually
for ourselves.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh man.
Yes, exactly.
I want itself.
The Kermit the Frog Lipton tea gif, but with Mudsie and Betsy Ross.
Got you. Ask and you shall receive.
Someone make it happen.
Yes.
And then, so finally, when the helicopter wrecking ball situation's happening, the crew is actually able to fully see that, like, yes, the Raven is behind this, trying to low-key murder us. And the way they evade the wrecking ball situation is they drive under like a stone bridge that the wrecking ball like crashes into. So of course it like rips off of the helicopter and
Yikes.
like, the helicopter goes spiraling out of control. And we do see the Raven have to fucking jump out in a parachute. We'll get to that in a second though. But then all of this happening, Muddy looks back. And this cultured motherfucker that he is goes, "Forevermore, I suppose." Quoting Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven. Quote the Raven nevermore. And I was just like,
there have been so many Edgar Allan Poe references that I've wanted to make, and that was one of them.
Yes. That's why I skewed over when you're like The Raven. I was like, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
Like, no, wait, let me say a joke. No, okay, never mind. Keep going.
Yeah. I wanted this moment for it.
Good.
That's why I steamrolled you because I was like,
love it. And I'm glad because yes, that was one of the two that I had on the top of my head to make. It's like at some point she's gonna pause and I can blurt it out.
No, I was like, I gotta get to it because I lost my fucking mind when it happened. And again, it's like, nevermore, I suppose. Like, so flippant.
So sassy after almost killing someone in that helicopter died. The Raven made it out, but like the pilot is absolutely dead.
Yeah, literally, we not only see the Raven like in a parachute careening out, but then we see the Raven falling into another car, causing a car accident. And again, Muddy. Well then. So yes, while that happens, our crew does win the race.
Oh, good.
But
because everyone else crashed.
We literally see mayhem of like cars piling up. Literally, when the Raven landed in, and it's Carter's car that he lands in, like the Formula One car. We see literally the parachute cover the entire car. So it's like the driver can't even see anymore. It's getting caught up in the wheels. Like, it's not good.
The Raven's about to die too. Good God, this is bloody.
Yep. I was like, again, boo.
Yeah, Boo's just sitting there
watching.
Smile slowly gets bigger and bigger as more cars crash.
So they run to the wreckage, and at first I was like, oh, they're going to like, check the bodies. Like, who's there to like up his body count? And then this is when I realized, yes, this is more Scooby-Doo structure, because like you mentioned, it's time to take off the mask here.
Okay.
So, Alexis, in our classic Scooby-Doo formula we do on this show, do you want to guess who's behind the mask? Our options are the chimney sweep.
I forgot about him.
Farmer Higgins, the banker Carter, one Raven, a whole bunch of ravens in the form of a human being, the ghost of Edgar Allan Poe.
Okay. So I'm gonna say this is what my heart wants to be, which I know is not real, versus what my head thinks it is, which I think is real. I'm gonna start with my heart. My heart wants it to actually be an Avengers type situation where the ghost of Edgar Allan Poe is like Nick Fury, and he's gone around finding a bunch of tormented souls and a group of ravens to dress up as one singular tormented soul to torture this Farmer Higgins, because Farmer Higgins used to be an op-ed columnist who shat on Edgar Allan Poe's works. And criticized him for marrying his underage cousin. Just the times.
One of these things is the correct criticism.
Set the art away apart from the artist. Yes. So that's what my heart wants to say, because those are all great options that you've presented me with. But my head, in reality, I think it is, as every villain in the real world happens to be, the evil banker Carter.
You are correct. Ding, 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 ding.
Ding, ding, ding. life imitates or fiction imitates reality.
Life imitates art, baby. This is
Thank
art.
you.
You can call it that.
Or
I
the
saw
other
you
way
think
around.
about it.
Yeah.
Call
I
it
was
what
like,
it
which one
is.
is it? Yeah, there we go.
It is art.
Yes.
Yes, it is Carter. They rip off the hood and the mask. It's Carter. We also immediately see that race car driver was the chimney sweep from before. He got back on his
mini
clock.
challenge. Good for him.
Exactly. It's a small operation. You got to wear a lot of hats,
You do. Carter's stingy with his money. He became the richest person by not paying anyone to do all the
Exactly,
various
one
jobs.
employee.
Yeah.
And so, like you just so astutely put, we knew it was the banker. They're always the villain. We learned that Carter discovered there was a rich ore deposit on Higgins' land. So his scheme was actually like more complicated than most Hanna-Barbera schemes are, more like close to real life schemes of like, I'm going to devalue the fuck out of this land.
Yeah.
I'm going to get this like an inoperable fucking farm. Basically, Higgins going to have to sell it essentially at auction because he can't pay his mortgage anymore. I'm going to buy it up cheap as hell. And then I'm going to get rich off of this ore.
Boom.
Real estate crimes, capitalism, exploitation.
Yep. Yeah.
They got it all.
Got it all. All the classic crimes in America. It's like Killers of the Flower Moon. Crazy.
That's like loosely based on this.
Yeah. Can I also say one thing? I meant to say what really gave it away that the Raven was Carter. He's the only person in town who can afford a fucking helicopter and a wrecking ball.
And a Formula One car.
And like, a Formula One car.
And his own driver.
And a parachute. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
So that really gave it away.
Yeah.
Like, don't be the only rich person in town. You gotta have a little pool, or don't buy all this crazy shit to do your villainous.
Yeah, like do it a different way.
Yeah, make it look like a poor person.
Yeah, they could have still got this pot of money and been able to pay the mortgage a little more. But guess what? You just fucking wrecked their farm. Like that's their only income. How much do you think this county plot of money is?
Yeah, that's the other thing too. There's
18 million?
This is a horrible This is 7,000 way max. To devalue property, because now the property is also destroyed. I guess if you're just using it for the ore, that's one thing.
Yeah,
but
he's just gonna mine it.
Yeah, but my horrible mind was like, I can think of a lot of other ways to devalue property. Much cheaper. Just pay a bunch of certain people to move into the neighborhood.
Exactly.
We'll just end it right there. Keep on going.
You know what? We can also do a more I wouldn't say family friendly. Well, no, I would, because, reality is actually the horror movie. Yeah. So we'll do the other horror movie option, which is just find your own ghost and get them to haunt the fuck out of the area.
Yeah, exactly.
Muzzy would have done it.
Yeah, easy. That's easily.
Call it a role. And Muzzy would have said yes.
Muzzy's like, oh, you want to hire me to play a part, you say?
You need a haunting? Say no more. Boo. Boo. Boo.
Just practicing my boos.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Boo is actually sitting there with his chainsaw,
sharpening it. Yes.
And Carter's like, I've made a horrible mistake. No, I didn't say kill them. I just said devalue the property.
Gonna kill anyone, are you? Well, what better way to devalue property than a murder?
Than a murder. Ooh. No, but wait, no, really, I just wanted off the land.
Yes. We heard you. We heard you. Bye.
I'll leave it to the professional actors. No, that's what I mean. You're acting, right? Right, guys, right?
No. Yes.
Yeah. Great. So that's the end of the first episode.
Oh, that's it. Cool. Literally, I guess I'm still stuck in Jabberjaw. I can't
what
even
the fuck
say
is his name.
But even also in like Scooby-Doo, like, do they get celebrated or anything after they solve the mystery? Or is it like, oh, hey, it's Carter, credits roll?
It's, oh, hey, it's Carter. And then we cut back to the farm and Farmer Higgins is like, thank you guys so much. LOL. Now I don't have to like sell my farm. Thanks, you saved my whole entire livelihood. And they're like, oh my God, no problem. We're going to drive off into the sunset. And this is when Augie and Skip are like, we want to send them back with April. And she's like, you can both be back here, boys. Mudzy knows how to drive now. And then we cut to Mudsie driving, and then we cut to Boo at the gas pedal again.
Oh no.
Full pedal to the metal, and then they run into more buildings on the farmer's property and destroy more things. That's actually how it ends. I'm not gonna put that in, but yeah, the end is like chickens flying at the screen because the chicken coop was one of the things that they ran into, thanks to Boo. Doing pedal to the metal again. So that's actually the ending.
Okay. All right. That's not what I expected. And I can't.
Heavens to the Liberty Bell.
Heavens to Betsy Ross.
Yeah, it's really
great job.
Actual ending. Thank you. That's the end of the first episode.
That was amazing.
I'm obsessed with this show entirely. And again,
too already.
Simply due to Mudsie. Everything else is like, all right, fine. Again, like, April, the fuck is happening there? Now I love this Boo plot line though of like, this is a fucking murderous cat. But Mudsie is really what like drew me in, you know? Got me to stay.
Amazing. I cannot wait to watch this.
Yes.
Do it as soon as we log off.
It's on the Internet Archive website, as all of our oldie shows are.
Favorite oldies.
There. Yeah. Yes, and you'll be doing your episode next week for your first Funky Phantom episode. And between now and then, Alexis, who should our listeners and viewers tell about this show?
This week, you guys should all tell a banker or someone who works at a bank.
Yes.
Check for any Raven inspired costumes that they may have around them. Yeah.
Nice.
Who should they tell?
I think then you should tell an ornithologist, but specifically someone who studies corvids because they're cool as fuck. And that's the family that ravens belong to, like crows. And those birds are so fucking cool. They can hold grudges and like pass them along to other birds in like the murder of their crows, et cetera, et cetera. And this is worth looking into. And to like reach out to an ornithologist who studies them and get the fun facts and tell them about this episode.
There you go.
Yeah.
Like you said, they hold grudges just like Carter the Raven did today.
And me. And Mudsie for
You're
sure.
So pissed. Oh my God. He's got a 200, 300 almost year old grudge.
Yeah. And Mudsie absolutely is not letting go of that. Like, I was only the understudy.
Imagine how much he hates the Brits too. We're adding that to our wild speculation. Anyway,
come back next week, everyone, for more. Named a musical after Alexander. Hamilton was such a poser. Where's Mudsie the musical?
Where's my musical? I have no idea about my life.
We'll see y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Saturday Morning Mysteries.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share, rate, review, leave us a like, and drop a comment. We post episodes every Saturday and bonus tune tangents whenever we feel like it. So please subscribe so you don't miss the shenanigans.
And if you want to follow us on YouTube, click the bell under the YouTube subscribe button to receive notifications when new videos are posted.
And if you want to subscribe to the podcast, we have no idea what you're listening to us on. So just hit the big subscribe button on whatever app you're using. We believe in you.
Give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at SatmornMist, all the abreves, and let us know if you have any episode or show requests by emailing SaturdayMorningMysteries@gmail.com.
Thanks to Jenna Kendall for the logo design and to Ava Sakiki for the music used during this week's episode.
See y'all groovy kids next week on Saturday Morning Mysteries.